Hello family, glad you can join me. I want to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. I want to talk about some of the critical things and bring us on page of exactly where we should be. I probably will be in the title of the video. I think that's the working title that I've been thinking about in my head and whatnot, but everything you need to know, you know what I mean, without going into complex details, and that can come later. And after this video, you should be able to come into complex you should be able to jump to some complex stuff if you want to. But this is the critical stuff. This is the start. This is what we should really be understanding and working with and stuff. Okay, so first thing, I use the term AI and stuff because we understand, we all have a general understanding or a pretty decent understanding of what we mean by that, and I have a really good way of describing what we really mean by it to make a long story short. Okay, we mean a machine, okay, that is very similar or equivalently similar or identical to us, equivalently in their version. But okay, whatever the case is, we mean a machine that is somewhat similar to us, that is very similar to us. Whatever that is, that's cool, because there is a range, and the true definition of what AI would be a combination of critical factors that would, you know, qualify as stuff. It's not just one factor, really. It's not just one trait or characteristic or something that it achieves and stuff. It's actually going to be a combination, like all things in life, right? So I've been moving away from describing what we mean, what I just said, that definition, what we generally think of when we say AI. I've been moving away from the actual term AI, artificial intelligence. One, because the definition of intelligence can be, be a bit variant. It can have a lot of variations to it. Variant, I mean, sounds great, right? Because the definition of intelligence is broad in a way, or basically, you know what? Let's just stop right there, but and try in a different angle. That all of which I think about and stuff. So the machine is already intelligent. Machines that we have now, computers that we have now, are already intelligent. So what does it really mean, and how accurate is such a term as artificial intelligence? What do you mean artificial? Artificial in what sense? In the sense that it's not a biology? So it's not a biological process that leads to a complexity to such a degree or whatever that we call intelligent and stuff. Fair enough. I'm not ridiculing or being facetious or anything like that. I'm just saying, so what's artificial then? Man-made or something or whatever? So usually whatever you can think are the definitions for artificial, it's already achieved. It's already happening. And artificial intelligence is already happening for a machine, right? So the machines are already highly intelligent. That's it. I need not say more. We understand that process and stuff. So trying to be a little bit more accurate, and this helps as we go further along into the idea, this type of specification and understanding helps, right? So saying AI, I can't wait for machine to achieve AI. To reach that point where it becomes an artificial intelligence. It already has. That's already happened and stuff. So having any type of intelligence, I think where we're at right now in our current one of the great traditions in working with components and stuff that are going into and studying the nature of a thinking machine, an intelligent machine and stuff, have been in our chess programs and stuff. And we have a great tradition of running our most current and state-of-the-art programs against our greatest grandmasters in chess. And I used to follow that. I haven't followed it as much, but I used to follow it a lot. And so I think we've gotten to that point. I don't know if it was Gary, his first name, but Kasparov or whatnot, a grandmaster, and he had a nice ongoing battle through the years and stuff. And I think he had gotten to the point where he had said that it had taken all of his ability and skill just to draw the computer, right? But even if I'm a bit inaccurate in that type of, we get to the point, we get the idea. We were at the point where it took all of our human ability, all of our reasoning, and all of our skill and intelligence just to draw a computer, okay? Just so that there's a stalemate and stuff. And we all know and we all understand that it won't be long. I don't know, it could be already now, but it won't be long before it would be, we won't be able to beat the computer easy at all. So it'll be like the computer 2-1 against us, and then eventually it'll be like 3-1 and stuff, and then eventually we won't take any game. You know, if like I said, that may have happened already and stuff. So, yeah. So in terms, when using the term AI, artificial intelligence, okay, the artificial intelligence is already there and stuff. So that's not going to be the signature or the key factor or description, or it's not the most accurate way that we go about it. So what I've been going about it, how I've been looking at it and stuff, is I've been thinking of there's for one general or overall idea approach that we should have when talking. This is like what I stated before, right? Just to make sure that I did state it before. I say we're looking at a machine that's going to start to check off the list of heaps of stuff like we have, okay? And what I've traditionally, right? Because I have a great tradition of this stuff and stuff. The two terms that I've been focusing on a lot, that seem to keep popping up, that make a lot of sense and that are effective in this approach of considering these ideas and reviewing these ideas and stuff, are sentient and independent, right? These two factors, I think, are critical in what we mean when we say an AI, a machine has reached AI and stuff. It needs to be sentient, so it has to have some kind of complex. It has to have a particular awareness and recognition of itself, of the system of itself. Now, lots of machines and stuff are able to perform parts of a self-optimization or a diagnostic, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's not this. So once again, that factor, that trait or nature alone isn't the ultimate or the only one that's needed and stuff like that, but that's a critical one. And we're looking for a particular kind of awareness of itself and stuff like that. So we're starting with that, right? And it should make a lot of sense, and hopefully you're on board with me and you think, you know what, crawlFace, that makes a lot of sense and stuff, because I need all of us to be working on this and stuff, and I'm going to get to that in a moment in another type of cool bunch of statements and stuff to make it all cool and stuff, right? Because we want to have some fun, and we want the language to be colorful as well, because if the language isn't going to be precise like math, then it better be colorful. Right? It better be like, you know what I mean, jewels and juicy and stuff, because this way, in the range of discrepancy and possible inaccuracy, come heaps of other ideas, right? We're my forte, right? We're snowballing into a whole bunch of other areas and stuff. Okay, but so what I'm getting at, so what I was talking about was easy for you because we can just go back on the video and stuff, right? So I don't want to, the word that's coming to my head is the one that I'm going to mention right now, is the next one coming forth, but the one right before that is sentient. So it needs to have some kind of significant understanding, some kind of significant behavior or identification or of itself, awareness of itself. Not just and it's tricky because it's not just, obviously it's not just to verbalize it, right? It also needs to be able to do in behavior, and it needs to be able to do this without running a program or being directed by a programmer, right? And that segues into another important part of what I'm getting at. Two critical terms that I think: sentient and independent. The machine needs to be independent. So, and again, there's a range of definitions of what we mean when we say independent, but there's some which are consistent and constant. Some variables and terms and definitions are constant, are always present when we use in what we mean when we say independent. The machine needs to be independent. Okay, so there is. I think it should go actually into the definition of what we mean when we say intelligence. Okay, if the machine cannot achieve an independence, then it cannot achieve a certain type of intelligence and stuff. And the cool thing is that you could say, well, if I really wanted to get really specific, and that's what I meant very early on in the video in saying that we can get into more complex ideas later, because this is a complex idea as well. But one could argue about how independent the human being really is and stuff like that. Okay, that's fine, but the point is the independence, the possibility, the range, that position is there, even if we are blackmailed or corrupted or forced or whatever into sort of living a life of only of minimal independence and stuff. The point is we have access to that type of behavior. We can at any given moment behave or start to set a course for an action of demanding a greater independence and stuff like that. The machine will need to do so as well, right? So, okay, so what we did was we identified two major terms that I think are more accurate for what we mean when we say AI, artificial intelligence. Starting from the idea that machines are already intelligent, okay? And if you want, whatever, but they are already intelligent, whether they're more intelligent than us or whatever, they're already intelligent. So intelligence alone is not the factor in what we're talking about when we're talking about what that future machine is going to achieve and stuff. What we're also looking at is we're looking at the natures of being sentient, okay, and behaving as a specific or unique life form, an entity, having an awareness of itself and its system, and then conducting itself and conducting its operation relative to that awareness in a dynamic way, because that's what we're doing too and stuff, right? And along with that is independence. We need to see significant, dynamic, and complex behaviors and understandings of independence from the machine. Right? If the machine is not independent, then it is still just a highly advanced machine that needs an operator. Okay? Because simple, you got to get on board with me. Okay? There's no alternative. This is where we're at. Okay? So these two things need to happen. All right? Now let's go back and start the video from the beginning. Okay? So, all right. So here we are, and let's start from the beginning now.